I have gotten a ton of messages, DMs, and emails from women saying, I'm in a terrible marriage. I'm so unhappy. I don't know what to do. And nobody knows. In today's video, I'm going to talk about hiding and covering and how you can find your way to happiness. And if you don't know, I'm Myesha Chaney, life strategist for women who want it all, author, speaker, mother, all the things, here to serve you. And if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe. Some years ago, I created a safe space, and it was called Hiding Behind the Lipstick. It's all about recalibrating what we present to the world and who we are deep down inside. I've noticed that there is distance between this idea, the perfection of the woman we want to be. I remember being in a nail shop and seeing a woman come in with makeup, and she had blush on and she was just together. And I think I was around 19 or 20. And I said, that's how I want to be. And I just filed it in the back of my mind that being made up or a woman of power or owning the room or driving the right car, we just have these ideas of what our ideal self looks like. And we do everything in our power to show people that version of us, when the truth is far from that. I created this safe space because I was hiding. Let me tell you, I was hiding. I was young. I was a pastor's wife. I was in this really, really important position. And it did not feel like there was much space for me to be a human. And I didn't like that. I didn't like how I felt like I couldn't come in a room and say what I wanted to say, that my thoughts would not be accepted. I felt trapped in the beautiful life that I had created. I started to look around and notice other women that felt trapped too. And none of us were saying anything. We'd show up to the meetings and, oh yes, and my children are at soccer, and oh yeah, Johnny got into a new school, and everybody's just running down their list of plays. And this was before Instagram and social media, honey, when you had to talk to people and they had to brag on how great their life was. And all you have to do is just keep your husband's love tank full. All you have to do is just be this way and everything will be wonderful. I remember looking around saying, you're lying. You don't love yourself. You don't love your husband. You don't touch him. You don't kiss him. You're not into this life. I didn't know why, but I knew something was wrong. And I wasn't the only one hiding the truth. The truth was I was in church and singing all these worship songs, but that Jay-Z was blasting at the crib. You understand? I loved all of life, but only felt like certain parts were acceptable for the world to see. So everything else had to be hidden and buried, the truth. How many of us are hiding now? How many of us find ourselves giving the world what we think they want? I know I was hiding then, and in a lot of ways, I'm hiding now. But listen, I'm breaking free, for real. How many times we post the picture that looks better, the filtered one over the truth? How many conversations we leave out the things that we don't want people to know? We are afraid that they may not love us if they knew the truth. So what do? We commit to a lifetime of pain to keep people from seeing this part of us. How many of us are hiding the truth? We're sitting at a dinner table. We're looking at a person we don't like, we don't respect, we don't love. We have a job that we hate. And then all of these things, we have a person. We look in the mirror, we don't love what we see. We don't love the person that we are. We don't like the way we look. We don't like the family we've come from. We just have a lot of stuff that we have done, that we've buried and hidden, and we've given people what we think they want. We show up in a room and we want to make everybody happy when nobody's making us happy. We want to make everybody laugh because we're the person that everybody loves to have around because of how we make them feel. But we go home alone. No one's checking on us. No one's thinking about us. And those deep parts of us start to really feel alone and isolated. To the women that have commented to me and said, I'm hiding. Nobody knows. Do you know it takes a tremendous amount of energy to cover and hide? To put on a brave face, to tell the world how amazing life is when it's really not? I've always said we're doing the best we can. And I really think we are. And maybe this moment here has come to help liberate and free you. So what is the thing you're hiding? What are you hiding behind? What is it that you present to the world? Like, what do they see? When they see you, what do they see? They see fitness? Do they see wealth? Do they see poverty? Do they see sickness? What is that story that you've constantly presented that makes you feel acceptable? And then what is the truth? What's the truth of who you are? I'm gonna let you think about it, because the truth of who you are is the place that needs the love the most. You've already gotten the outside all figured out. It's time to take a journey on the inside. When I started hiding behind the lipstick years ago, I didn't even know at that time that it was an answer to my deepest calling. I was looking for a way out. I wanted to be seen for who I was. I wanted to be loved and accepted for the person that I really, really was. But it didn't happen because I continued to project to the world what I wanted them to see. So people continued to love that version of me, when the version of me that I deeply was dying on the inside. Let that not be said about us, that we go to the grave and never experience what it's like to be fully loved and fully accepted. I had no idea back then that I was creating a space for what I desperately needed. And I lived through the stories of other people coming out of hiding, women getting up and sharing with the world what happened to them, being molested, being raped, being physically abused, women that would sleep with men for money to pay their phone bill, women whose son wasn't really their husband's child, it was his friend's child, but he never knew. The bravery that came with here is the truth. I'm tired of hiding it. I'm tired of covering over it. I'm tired of pretending like I'm something that I'm not. Those parts that you hide, that's you too. We just need to give it some love and some space and some honor. You're not what happened to you. You're not your choices, but it's all a part of who you are. Hiding behind the lipstick was the perfect safe space for me to see it was safe out there, that brave women could get up and they can be themselves and it is okay. In this season of my life, I'm discovering the beauty of my true self. What it's like to not have things hidden and covered, to be both good and bad, to have tendencies, to sometimes feel like cussing people out. Yeah, I've had a lot of thoughts over this past year. And guess what? It's okay. So if you ask me, how do I get out? How do I come out of hiding? What do I do? What's my next step? Be honest with you, what the truth is. Acknowledge it, give it place. If it's something that happened years ago, this is what happened. If it's the way you feel right now, be honest and own it, that these are my feelings. These are my thoughts. This is my experience. Start with you. Find at least one person in your life that you can be honest with. For me, it was a therapist, not a person alive. Heard my truth, baby. I paid good money. I was in therapy for 5 years before I really found the confidence for the world to know what I was really dealing with. Find one person in your life that you can be honest with. Starts with you. Find one person outside of you, preferably somebody that can offer you love and support. And you may not know what they're going to say. Say it anyway. That's the first step to moving toward honest, truthful, reconciled, congruent living. I'm one person, and all of this is me. I go into more detail in my book, Hiding Behind the Lipstick. There are several experiences happening where you can be a part of an environment where women are saying we are tired. We are not perfect wives or girlfriends, or we're not bosses. Climb up the corporate ladder and think, once I get to the CEO of a C-suite organization, then I will be loved, when all we ever wanted was daddy's love. You get women that are in a room that says, listen, we're not gonna hide in here. We get to be ourselves. We get to be heard. We get love. And that love is what changes us from the inside out. I want you to live a happy, healthy life. And much of what you're gonna learn is that it starts with you. No more hiding. And you don't have to wear those chains if you don't want to. It's safe here. You can let me know in the comments, if you feel it, what you were hiding behind. What truth are you keeping hidden and buried? What part of you are you keeping in the back room with the door closed? It's time for you to be free. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, comment. I want you to be in the loop when new videos come out. It's been a pleasure serving you.